You're watching Meet the Movie Press, and coming up, we're going to have our top 10 of the year, our worst 10 of the year, Gotham City Sirens, and Simon's Rogue One reaction.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Meet the Movie Press.
Hello.
Oh, man, it's been too long, brother.
It has. I've genuinely missed you.
Yeah. How did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Yeah. God, that seems so long ago. I had a lovely Thanksgiving. It was really nice.
Wonderful.
I don't remember a lot of it. I got quite pissed.
What?
That's
Who gets
British
pissed at Thanksgiving?
not American
Oh,
pissed. Oh my
I
God, man,
gotcha.
I'm so pissed. Yeah.
So what does that mean? You had 2 beers?
I did have 2 beers because I'm only a small fella. Yeah, no, it was great. It was really, really nice. And I've been furiously busy, fast and furiously busy.
Right.
8 ever since.
And your fate has been this podcast
Has been
with me.
good. Yeah, and I wasn't here last week because I was in New York.
Ooh, that's
talking,
right. You were
talking to the cast of
traveling.
Hidden Figures.
Hey now, that's pretty cool.
It was pretty sweet, actually.
Did you have a favorite interview? Can you say?
They were all pretty good, to be honest
Okay.
with you. The girls were together.
All 3 of the
yeah, and they were
leads, got it.
superb.
Did you do Costner?
Yeah, it did Costner.
Did you do Glenn
Big K.
Powell?
Yeah, no.
I love Glenn Powell.
No, did the director as well. Oh, and yeah, Pharrell Williams. Pharrell
I
was
like Ted.
he's a pretty intense, but a funny guy. Dry funny.
Yeah.
I liked him.
He's
We're
always-
going to go and have... We're not going to
Yeah,
have beers.
you're gonna share
Hey,
a pint.
Pharrell, it's Simon. What the? Yeah.
You remember me, right?
Well, don't call me, you say. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good. So
Wonderful.
How was the show last week?
Great. Neil Turret's came in.
Good guy.
From Tracking Board. Did a
Yep.
great job. You know, always good to have him on the show, but it's good to have you back, brother.
It's nice to be back. I genuinely missed it. Every Friday, we can go, meet the movie press. So it's nice to be back. But obviously, this is the last show of the year.
Oh my God, is it?
How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah,
it's
look
like
at
I only
that.
joined the show like 11 months ago.
Hey, we can't work year round.
Well, that's how time operates as well, unfortunately. Years, they
I feel
end.
like we do more episodes than John Oliver.
I think we do. I think we're on a borderline as funny as John Oliver should have us on, like a little movie thing. I know he's a fan of the show.
If only we were paid like John Oliver. All right, what do we want to start with?
Okay,
buddy?
let's talk about. There's a lot of movies coming over the
All right,
holidays.
let's talk about Christmas movies, which
Yeah.
I haven't seen. You know, I missed a lot of press screenings. You know, let's start with Rogue One.
Yeah, there's a little indie movie coming out this weekend.
very tiny film.
Very tiny film. I like to support independent cinema. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or I'm also calling it Tyler Perry's Rogue One, a Medea story, which we know is only literally a
She
stone's throw away.
cameos as a stormtrooper.
I'm in space!
How many famous people are stormtroopers?
Do you know
in
what?
this
I actually
movie?
spent quite a bit of the movie
ridiculous.
trying to. They're a little. There's a sense of humor to the stormtroopers in this, and each time it was like, oh fuck, who's that? Is that going to be a Nick Frost? Is that going to be a? So there is a little bit of that. I want to see it again and not do that.
All right, before you get into your review,
Yeah.
or mini review, no
Cool.
spoilers because
Yeah.
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Should I go home and watch Star Wars tonight? Like, is this a movie that I should see Star Wars right before so I understand more what's going on? Or should I watch Rogue One and then have more fun watching
Do
Star
you
Wars?
need to see it? No, you don't.
No, okay.
You can go into this pretty cold in the same way that I think you could fundamentally go into Force Awakens pretty cold, and it's a good standalone, and that was the whole idea of Rogue
Right.
One, was the fact that it was going to be a spin-off, a standalone movie.
and that's why I'm so excited about it,
Yeah.
because it is sort of my introduction.
If anything,
If you will.
and I don't suggest you do this, you should probably watch some of the prequels again if you really fucking hate yourself, because there are characters from the prequels that crop up in this. We know, we've seen them in trailers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's kind of a merge.
Weird.
It's a great sort
But
of
Jar Jar's
dovetail.
not in there, is he?
Jar Jar's not in there.
Okay, phew.
No. Amazingly. So yeah, there are characters from that appear, and it moves into A New Hope. So it's really kind of, if you're gonna rewatch anything, rewatch the prequels.
Did you
but
have
I'd never
a,
suggest
did you have
that.
a favorite character?
Yeah, I did actually. There's a droid in it who's
Alan
effectively
Tudyk? That
yeah,
one? Okay.
who's great.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
K2SO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great
I'm looking forward
character.
to
As good as any sidekick in the franchise so far. Absolutely nails it.
I heard
Steals
Donnie
some of
Yen
the
was
scenes.
good.
Very good. Very good.
And does Felicity carry it? Is Mendelsohn a good villain?
She's, Yes, I found Mendelssohn a little bit hammy at times.
Okay.
I loved Mads Mikkelsen in his role. I don't want
what a
to say
cast.
too much about how they're all related,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
some
no.
stuff comes out in the movie. I enjoyed Felicity. I didn't think she was brilliant.
Do you think she was better than Daisy Ridley in episode?
I think she was a little bit not as good.
Okay.
As Daisy. I thought also there's interactions between her and Diego Luna that don't really work, or as I refer to him at the end of the movie as Juan Solo.
Uh-huh.
They're okay. It's a little bit clunky with them at times. It's not kind of a Han Leia type relationship, but there is a little bit of chemistry there. You know, it's as a whole, it's a good movie. The first half, it kind of takes a little while to find its feet.
Okay.
Just to find the tone.
But it's like a war movie, like The Guns of Navarone or Dirty
yeah,
Dozen or something?
Or Black Hawk Down would be another good one.
Oh,
Saving
shit,
Private
okay.
Ryan. You know, the spectacle
I'm
of the
excited,
movie.
yeah.
It's a great movie, and it's up there with with Empire Strikes Back as one of the best Star Wars
Do you
movies.
think it has a shot at awards? Do you think this could
Yeah,
get
I think it does actually,
Best Picture
because
nominated? It has a better chance than Force
Garrett,
Awakens.
it looks beautiful. It looks better than I think most of the Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the original films. It's a very strong film cinematically. The pace, I think, is even though it's not quite right at the beginning, I think it works really well. The battle scenes are fantastic. The characters who you don't know anything about before you go into the movie, you genuinely get to care about.
Great.
So it's a really good money. I mean, I paid to see this. I didn't get to go to a preview, so I'm a paying member of the public watching this with an audience. Everybody really
So you
enjoyed
saw it
it.
last night?
Saw it last night. I went to the first
shit.
showing at the
Okay.
Grove in.
Yeah, if I didn't, I would have gone last night if I didn't have plans to see it this weekend.
But it was
Okay.
great, and I saw it in 3D. Now 3D can be very hit and miss with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It really works well.
Okay.
Really, really works well. It's just a really solid delivered movie. I think Disney were a little bit concerned that it might not meet Force Awakens. I think word on this is going to be so strong and it's part of Star Wars, but it's very independent. I think it benefits from that because it gets to do its own thing. And it has to tie strands together. It's a really strong movie. It's entertaining-wise one of the most entertaining movies I've seen this year. Doesn't make my top 10 though.
Okay. Fair enough.
But it's
We're
great.
going
It's
to
really
get to
good.
that later.
Yeah.
Now, you've also seen Passengers.
I have, which comes out next week. There's a slew of movies that hit theatres next week, actually. Passengers I saw this week. Kind of disappointing. Well, very disappointing, actually. It was obviously a blacklist script that they've been waiting to be made for a long time. Really good script. It just doesn't work with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. There isn't... You don't believe the chemistry. You don't believe the chemistry at all, which is a key part of this relationship. It's really oddly structured. There's Lawrence Fishburne's character turns up for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. He's a MacGuffin. His entire character is a MacGuffin. It's just not exciting enough. There are some amazing set pieces, just... not to make a space pun, but they just lack atmosphere.
What do you think of all these sort of, think pieces and hot takes about... I don't want to say what necessarily happens in the first half an hour or whatever, but a lot of critics seem to be reading into it as a violation and tacking on this kind of...
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I mean,
okay.
it's not...
You felt like that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it is a violation of her and her life, but I don't think we can read too much into it as is it deeper than just it's a dick move that he pulls off. I don't think it's like it's not. I don't think it's
right, but like it's a move I think we would all make.
I think honestly, yeah, I think we would. It's not what
Most
happens in
of
the
us
movie is
would.
not right, but it's. I don't think we can read. It's like, oh, is this representing this and that? It's not.
Okay.
I think
when you see it, you guys will sort of understand what we're talking about here. We'll get into it after the break.
I think people are reading a bit too much into it. But is it a dick move? Yeah, it is. Is it a violation? Yeah, it's a violation of her character. But there is some justice later on that's delivered in the movie by Michael Sheen's character, who is great as an android barman. But again, a character that's kind of wasted. The whole thing just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. It's on the screen, but you're just not feeling it. It's fine. It's averagely entertaining,
Right.
but it's instantly forgettable.
Listen, I'd rather see that than Assassin's Creed, which I think looks actively bad.
I haven't seen that. but I've
anybody?
not heard any. I do know a couple of people. I know Jim at IGN has seen it amongst other people, and from people that I've spoken to, really not getting strong word. And people that I've spoken to around the studio, it's not really where they're placing any hot bets.
Right,
for big money.
because they're doing an Alien trailer, right?
Yeah.
And that's not attached to Assassin's Creed. It's attached to something else.
I think because they want people to see it.
Right. Okay. What else comes out?
Sing comes out.
I saw Sing. That was the
What
last.
did you think?
I
Because I reviewed this for IGN.
I liked it. I think it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly that deep. I don't think it's going to like threaten Zootopia for the best animated feature Oscar.
No.
But it was cute. It was just a lot of songs. Like, all these animated movies have 2 or 3 big musical numbers. This is like wall-to-wall music. And it's called Sing, so you know that going into it. It's not like it's a surprise, but it got to be a little much.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was fine. I've seen quite a few animated movies this year for either, for various reasons, for doing junkets or reviews. And I think this has actually been a pretty strong year for animation. And I think, obviously, this same studio, Illumination, has had, Secret Life of Pets, which was great. Obviously, they've got Despicable Me franchise.
I saw Secret Life of Pets in these last couple weeks.
Which
it was not good, dude.
See, I enjoyed that. I thought it was good, but then again, I'm a dog. I'm an animal lover. I've got dogs and stuff like that.
That was a disappointment.
But I just think Sing, for me, it just didn't quite work. It had some great voice talent in it. I didn't really get attached to any of the characters as much as you can in an animated movie, which is very possible to do. I've done it with other movies this year. It just didn't work, and like you say, too much music, and I just.
There were a lot of characters that, you couldn't really, you didn't really know who you're supposed to like latch onto, and
the plot was kind of a bit all over the place. And it's like the strongest character was actually the older lady reptile who was who the director,
the secretary.
Right? Garth Jennings voiced.
Really? That was the old lady? I actually was gonna agree. I agree
Best
with you.
character in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame because the cast is so strong. But I didn't like that. Also, Why Him comes out.
Haven't seen that.
Really, really funny.
All right, good.
Oh God, no! Can I just warn everybody? It's a holiday movie. Whatever you do, don't, unless she's really loves a dirty dick joke. Don't take your mum or your grandma to go and see Why Him. Don't.
My
Seriously.
grandma's taken me.
She will learn words like double dicking. There's dick biting. The fuck word gets said a lot. It is not a family festive movie, but it is filthy fun.
Yeah, I don't know if you know my family.
Great. Well,
We'll be there opening day with Bryan Cranston.
It's good. It's really good fun. It's really good fun. Have a couple of beers before you go and see it as well. You'll love it even more. But I saw it completely stone cold sober. It's one of the best comedies of the year, and Cranston and Franco are great together. But Megan Mullally steals the show. She's
power.
Genius. I can't decide who I love more, her or her husband Nick Offerman.
Who I saw in The Founder while I've been on break.
I want to see that.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a really interesting biopic. It is a bit of a missed opportunity in that if it had a director like a David Fincher, he could have turned this into another Social Network. And I think John Lee Hancock, it's a little light, the approach. It also feels like McDonald's maybe had a lot of say in it. It just felt like the edges were sanded off, but I really liked it. It's a fascinating story as a frequent McDonald's customer.
Hey, who doesn't love a Mickey D's?
It's just a good story. And have you seen Gold yet?
I haven't. I was
Gold,
supposed to be in New
really
York this weekend
well.
doing the cast for that, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be here.
Great.
But why me is filthy, brilliant, festive fun.
Why him?
Why him? Yeah. What does I say? Why me?
I don't
Hey, why
know.
me? Yeah.
Why
Why him is great. And it's another great movie from Hamburg, who's done movies like I Love You Man and stuff like that. It's a really solid, good comedy.
Is there anything else coming
Hidden
out?
Figures, I've also seen. I really love that. The only problem
It was really good.
I wrote a really strong review for that for IGN, which I believe is already
That's a good
online.
family film.
It's a great family film. The only issue, and superb cast, and it avoids a lot of cliches. Occasionally it gets a little bit twee. Just touches on it, but it's excusable because the rest of it is so strong. Great cast. I love the work between Hans Zimmer and Pharrell Williams. His orchestral score stuff and Pharrell's kind of
the
60s
tunes are
infused
catchy.
stuff is great. I love Kevin Costner's character, even though he's
me
one of
too.
the few people in it that's not a real person. It's an amalgamation of
composite,
3
yeah.
different people. Jim Sheridan from Big Bang Theory. Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, he makes a good little office dick.
He does. He makes a good dick. I had a chat with Simon Helberg this week around
with
the
Florence
nominations.
Foster Jenkins, yeah.
And before we did the interview, we had a chat, and he said, "What do you think?" Because he hasn't seen it. And I said, "It's great." I said, "It's great to see Jim." I said, "Who is a genuinely nice guy in real life and is very amenable as Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Be a dick. He's a great." Side-eye looking dick.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a great movie. Seriously, I really can't wait to take my mother to see that over the holidays because I know she'll absolutely love it. A lot of films around I haven't seen. Patriots Day, which comes out. You've seen that.
Yep.
You spoke very highly of that.
It's fantastic. You'll see that will be on the list.
And Fences, I'm very excited to see,
Okay.
but I haven't managed to see that this week. But yeah, I mean it's a strong couple of weeks. But,
Except for one movie.
except for Passengers,
No.
I think some of the reviews have been too harsh
That
on it,
wasn't
but
the
it's just
movie.
not great. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, why him and Hidden Figures from the ones I've seen, a way you should put your money this
That
holidays.
wasn't the movie I was alluding to. I was alluding to Collateral Beauty.
Oh, yeah. Someone actually said, it's TP John 8 in the chat, said, what about Collateral Beauty? Eggs fucking exactly. What about Collateral Beauty?
I haven't
bad?
seen it. I would have liked to have seen it.
Yeah.
But now, after reading these reviews, I don't know that I will. Oh my God, these reviews are savage.
I actually cut a piece on that for Reuters this week, and just watching the trailer, I was just like, yeah, no.
It's like very obvious. Like I knew without having to know that they're actors, Time, Death, and
Yeah.
Love, and I don't know. All the reviews just seem to take any surprises out of it.
Yeah.
They say Will Smith just mopes around. He has some questionable taste. Very
Yeah.
questionable taste.
Well, it's funny because the person who was on the red carpet for us in London asked the question, who would you like to have a conversation with? And they were like, I'd like to have a conversation with Time, or I'd like to have a conversation with Death. And I was thinking, I'd like to have a conversation with your fucking agents.
Right.
And wonder what the hell they were thinking for have you sign up for this. And there's a bit in the trailer, and I don't know if this is like an innuendo, but Helen Mirren's character turns to Will Smith's character and goes, he says, "Oh, are you about to take me?" Because obviously she's Death. We know
Right.
this from the trailers. And she goes, "No, I want to ride the F train with you." And I'm like, did you just say you want to fuck Will Smith?
The F train.
Because to me, riding the F train is kind of
Is
like,
that what you call it?
yeah, you want to do,
Mississippi?
you want to make boom boom. But yeah, so maybe they get it on in the DVD extras.
I
don't know.
Honestly, the problem with Will Smith
Yeah.
comes down to this. It's that he doesn't work with interesting directors. It just doesn't happen. And if it does, it's extremely, extremely rare. His taste is... I wish he had a new executive over there at Overbrook steering him. All right.
Yeah,
What else is cooking?
Okay.
Gotham City Sirens got announced this week.
that was big news this week.
Yeah, so this is a spin-off from Suicide Squad starring Margot Robbie
Yep.
as Harley Quinn.
Yep.
David Ayer is going to return to direct
Yep.
as he's wrapping up right now for Netflix. And Harley Quinn will be joined by Catwoman and Poison Ivy. What do you think of this one?
Suicide Squad as a movie, I didn't hate it. It just could have been so much better. I know you really didn't like it. I mean, but I thought there were elements in there that I really enjoyed. So, one of those elements was Harley Quinn. We went over this in the summer, and the Joker. I would be interested to see. I think a part of the problem with Suicide Squad was we didn't get to flesh out as many as the characters as much as we really should have done and could have done. And I think with this, hopefully, if they don't overcrowd it with characters, we'll really have a chance to see this happen. But I wasn't a fan of Ayer's direction. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I think also he'll probably have learned from his mistakes.
I'm surprised that they brought him back.
I was surprised.
I mean, I was.
As
I'll tell you
director,
what I was
yeah.
not surprised was about the shakeup at Warner Brothers this week. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was not surprised about that. That seemed like it was a long time coming. Yeah, I don't know. Gotham City Sirens. I like the idea of a girl power. A girl team up movie. But at the same time, I think they should bring back Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I think someone wrote that article this week. I forget who it was, and it was a great idea. Mm-hmm. But Poison Ivy, I've never liked as a character much.
I hated Thurman's Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Although someone threw out Jessica Chastain, then I was like,
Yeah. I'd watch that.
But
Anna Kendrick?
on the whole,
Hot ginger lady?
it just seemed like Warner Brothers grasping at straws. It seemed like, we're not excited about this Cyborg movie. We're not excited about the Flash.
They're very quiet on Cyborg.
Yeah,
That's a very quiet
There's a
camp
whole
right now.
bunch of stuff. That's the problem with announcing all these movies 6 years before you actually have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I'm massively excited about, but we are going to see over the next sort of two years a spate of these female group movies. There's talk of the female Expendables. That was looking into doing casting stuff. We've got
movie.
Ocean's 8. We got this. So I think we are going to see a little bit of this. I hope we don't see too many, because I think I don't think Hollywood is equipped enough right now to do mainstream characters that are strong female ensembles that don't become insipid or cliched.
You just don't want to burn it out.
You don't want to burn it out.
Yeah,
we do that with so many things in Hollywood.
Right.
So many go, hey, someone's made a hangover movie. Let's have lots of male road trip movies.
Right.
And then you just get tired of them. And
then you get Due Date.
Yeah, and then people are like, okay, well, we're sick of this. And then the audiences drop, and it's really unfair to the people that are in it.
Yep.
And a waste of creative time, talent, and money. So, yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see it. I'd like to see more of Harley Quinn. Surprised Ayers has come back as director. I thought he might have come back in a role, but not director. Okay. So we'll see.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about before we get to top 10s?
A couple of trailers that have dropped over the last week.
Sure.
Apes trailer, new Apes trailer.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I found out my wife has never seen a Planet of the Apes movie.
Any of them?
Any of them.
Oh yeah, you gotta sit her down.
Oh, I bought that Blu-ray box set on Amazon, lickety frickin' split. That's on its way to my house right now.
Do you buy a lot of physical media, or
I don't.
You don't.
I literally had this conversation
with
one of the producers this morning. I haven't bought a lot of Blu-rays or DVDs in the last 2 years. I mean, partly because I was relocating. No, I do buy the physical ones, but I just don't buy as many as I used to.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody does. It's just a matter of whether they're still doing it.
And I tend to buy sort of older movies now because a lot of the stuff I'm sadly watching on a weekly basis is just not good enough. So I'm going back and watching a lot of the classics.
I'm buying stuff that is not on iTunes. But okay, so Apes looks sick. Woody Harrelson looks awesome. He's just a fucking badass.
I know, right?
Love this guy.
Absolutely love it. No, genuinely excited. It's a franchise I love. I know some people who saw some additional footage at a presentation from Fox in New York last week. They saw that. They saw some of Logan as well. And both very, very strong.
Yeah.
Very, very strong.
I'm excited for that.
Also, another trailer this week that everybody was talking about, certainly in the film community, Dunkirk.
Looked good.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Looks really good. I have an uneasy relationship with Chris Nolan as a director.
Oh.
Some of his stuff I really genuinely enjoy, and some of it I just think is a little bit too self-absorbed and thinks it's cleverer than it is, and it kind of loses its way. Interstellar, I thought the final act in that was just like, dude, you could have done so much better, and it was too chin-strokey. But I'm really, really excited about Dunkirk. I'm really clever. Oh,
sure,
it's like,
we
woke up and it was all a dream. I'm just like, what the fuck? But yeah, Dunkirk, I really like. I'm looking forward to seeing him do war.
Yeah, it looks very ambitious and epic in scope. And then Amy Schumer's
which I haven't watched.
Snatched trailer hit this morning, and there was a couple good lines in that. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Goldie Hawn back on the big screen.
It came up on my email today as Amy Schumer's Snatch.
Right.
As the subject line of my notification from my emails, and I was like, is this
I have a feeling
spam?
Yeah, she picked that one.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are the major stories this week.
All right, let's round out 2016. What year is it?
Yeah, 2016.
With our top 10 lists and worst 10 lists. Let's start with the worst 10, and we'll go a little bit quicker through these so we can talk more about our top 10.
Okay, these are not going to be in order. I'll run through.
You do 5 and I'll do 5.
Okay, let's start out and go from the bottom to the top. Ice Age Collision Course.
Never seen an Ice Age movie. Don't know why you suffered through this one.
I had to do it. I did it for review.
Okay.
The other Ice Age
Duty
movies,
calls.
I've actually, I took one for the team on this for an amount of money. Yeah, it's just not good. I mean, the previous Ice Age movies, the first, second, and third ones were pretty good. Even the third one was a little bit off. This was just a mess. It was not good. The animation didn't look as strong. The story was terrible. It was all over the place. The voice talent were completely wasted. They just sounded
checked out.
They just sounded bored. The only reason that was possibly a good reason to see that movie was the inserts from Scrat, the little character who's always looking for his nut. But that's like, why are you paying $15 to watch a fucking short spread out throughout a 2-hour or a 90-minute movie? Not a good movie.
All right.
And in a year of strong animation, there's no excuse.
Number 9.
Gods of Egypt. Okay, watch this.
By the way, Simon, these are not ranked for you.
These are not ranked.
Okay, Simon's not ranked. Mine are.
Gods of Egypt.
Yep.
I missed it in theaters, like audiences. I decided to watch it quite recently on streaming services, just to see if it's really. I'm curious, see if it's bad as everyone said it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
You're a glutton for punishment. Poor
It's
Alex Proyas.
abysmal. Just
guy who directed The Crow has fallen to this.
Dark City.
Yeah.
You know, great movies. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8?
Absolute. Bridget Jones's Baby. Again, look. Okay, I've got to. Yeah, I'll cover everything. All types of films.
I guess so.
And I was curious to see this because I love the original movie. The second movie I didn't like, and apparently this was back on track. That was bullshit. It lost all the charm, humor, originality, attraction of the first movie. It just does not work. It's a movie of the 90s that they made in 2015 for 2016. The shit got old.
Poor Bridget. Couldn't win Simon's heart.
Did really well in other markets, but in the US it quite rightly tanked. It simply
7.
wasn't good enough. The Huntsman.
Okay. That's one where I.
There we go. We don't need to talk about that
obviously
more.
hated Snow White. I didn't even bother seeing The Huntsman.
Yeah, it was a chance to redeem itself and create a franchise. Did the opposite.
Yeah.
Shat in its own breakfast.
Okay.
Mechanic Resurrection. Love Jason Statham.
Okay.
Hated Mechanic Resurrection. Absolute waste. It looked like it was made just for shit money with B-roll footage of exotic locations. Terrible script.
Yeah.
It totally changed the premise of what he did. Terrible supporting cast in Jessica Alba and a totally wasted Tommy Lee Jones, who I'm not sure he knew where he was at the time or what film it was. It could have been fucking anything. He's
fallen far from that Oscar.
It was bad.
He's just like, I can watch that Bruce Willis, Nicolas Cage kind of crap.
Yeah.
But they're interesting to me, and
He
he's
even
just
looked really
not.
pissed off
Statham's
that he
not.
was there and he was getting paid. The only thing he had in the press notes to say that was good about being in the movie was the fact that he got to wear some cool shirts.
10 for me is Free Fire, Ben Wheatley's movie, which is in Toronto. That comes out, I think, in April.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it. It was just a nightmare, like a Reservoir Dogs wannabe.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, Dirty Grandpa, watching Robert De Niro embarrass himself like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough to see. Number 8, the DC trilogy. That goes for Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, and the movie that may have even been worse than both of them, The Killing Joke, was awful. I love The Killing Joke comic, and they made they stretched it out into some 75-minute movie, and it was just terrible.
Oh, wow.
7, more shitty sequels. X-Men Apocalypse and Jason Bourne. Holy crap.
I saw Jason Bourne on the plane.
Those are just terrible movies.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being a studio head watching dailies of that stuff as it comes in, being like, this is our summer blockbuster. Get ready, guys. Like, wow.
Another movie with Tommy Lee Jones in where you're going like, you really don't look like you want to be here.
Shitty genre movies come up at number 6. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and The Conjuring 2. I couldn't stand either one of these movies. The Conjuring 2 was like such a slog.
That was
like a 2-hour, 10-minute slog in London with no stars. It was like every other fucking possession movie, whatever.
I love The Conjuring. I thought The Conjuring 2 was an absolute abomination in comparison.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 5 for me. 5 for you.
My final 5 in the worst in no particular order. Apart from the last one, which actually is the worst film I've seen this year. Ben-Hur.
I skipped that too.
That was, again, I did that for work. You know, sometimes you got to take the Ben-Hurs with the La La Lands. Just no.
Jack Houston does absolutely. He does negative for me. There's not even nothing.
See,
for
I
me.
like him. I like
Negative.
Tony Cabell as well, but this film was fucking awful. Nerve.
Okay.
No.
I was listening to the Nerve soundtrack on the way up here.
The soundtrack's great. Film is shit. It's just
That's
a bad
fair.
movie.
I won't argue with that. I liked Emma Roberts. I liked.
It's a film about millennials made by dads for millennials. It's how you think, the Tinder or the Snapchat works. I've just got my coffee coming in.
Oh, shit.
I know. How's 11 months I'm getting coffee delivered.
What the fuck?
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was just no. It was no.
Okay.
It was worse than the gallows for me, and that was a complete fucking
The gallows is bad.
fucking mistake.
3.
Independence Day resurgence.
Yep.
Independence Day. No, it should have been called. That was just fucking awful.
Yep.
I paid to see that.
Me too.
I genuinely thought about asking the theatre for my money back.
Yep.
I was like, I'm sorry, there's something wrong with the projector. What is it? I've just seen 2 hours of absolute dog shit.
All right.
Alice,
two more.
Alice Through the Looking
Oh,
Glass.
I didn't even bother. That first
Again,
one was a nightmare.
For work.
Do you work for like?
I think people
Who are you
employ me
working
because
for,
they hate me.
terrorists?
I think people employ, they go like, yeah, what's coming up the chip?
Holy shit!
Get the little bald guy
This
to do
is
it.
torture.
Alice Through the Looking Glass. Yeah, no, I hated the first one. I didn't hate it as much, but it was still utter
Wow,
crap.
okay.
And London Has Fallen. I did not see this in theaters. It had the worst tagline of the years: "Prepare for bloody hell." Which, if you know how bloody hell is used in a sentence in the UK, it's like, oh, bloody hell, like, oh, shit, I
Right.
just dropped something. Prepare for, oh, shit. It's like, that kind of was the whole film. Genuinely, Angela Bassett dies in this and looks genuinely happy that she's finally out of that. It's just like, and there's a scene with Morgan Freeman and Gerard fucking Butler, who I can love in other things, but he needs to stop making these. And he's making a third one, I don't know why. But there's a scene with him and Morgan Freeman where it's clearly that Morgan Freeman's not in the same fucking place as Gerard Butler. They're talking to each other's back doubles. It's just, the whole thing is just absolutely terrible. Terrible film. Worst of the year for me.
Worst of the year, you've heard it there. London Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me, Independence Day, as you said.
Yeah.
I walked out after 70 minutes, and then I finished it on a plane later. Number 4, the Sundance trilogy of Dark Knight, which is about the movie theater shooting. It's like a super art house riff
Starring
on...
Amy Schumer.
Nope.
Okay.
Dark Knight, Trash Fire with Adrian Grenier.
Okay.
And Yoga Hosers from my boy Kevin Smith.
I
who
haven't
love.
seen that.
I love you, Kevin. This movie was absolutely your worst film. So yeah, Sundance films to be avoided at all costs. Number 3 was The Boy.
Okay.
You remember that with the little doll?
I saw the pictures, the posters for that. I keep seeing it on streaming services, and I'm going, shall I? So the answer's no.
No,
Okay.
that is the worst. One of the worst horror movies of the year. This might be the worst. Flight 7500, an old CBS Films project that was delayed for like years. It sat on a shelf. It's
Right.
with like I love my boy Jerry Ferrara from Entourage.
Yeah.
It's like with Ryan Quanten. That is a special kind of bad. And then at number 1, a trio of late twos. SLC Punk 2.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop 2 and Zoolander 2.
You see, you accuse me of watching some shit.
Yeah. I watch the indie shit. You watch the studio shit.
I do.
They're both special kinds of bad. Kindergarten Cop 2's I saw on Netflix. It's
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren. He's no replacement for Schwarzenegger.
I love Dolph Lundgren, but no.
Yeah, he has no sense of humor, which hamstrings you a bit. Zoolander 2 was just a nightmare. And SLC Punk is one of my favorite, it's like a cult classic.
Yeah.
This hardly qualified as a movie. It was like 69 minutes. It was barely more than an hour. And it starred Ben Schnetzer, who's actually in a movie on my top 10, which we're about to get into right now.
Brilliant Ben
So
Schnetzer.
there you go.
Yeah, so those are no particular order for me, but yeah, those are just a shit show.
All right. Our
Okay.
top 10s. We got 16 minutes to close it out.
Ooh, okay. And mine again are in no particular order. And these are not necessarily the best films in terms of cinema, but these are the ones that gave me the most.
Okay.
It wasn't easy to tie it down to 10, and there are some I haven't seen, so they're admitted because I haven't seen them. Captain America Civil War, just because it was just a great comic book movie that delivered everything that I wanted it to deliver. It just left me genuinely satisfied.
I liked it. It's fun. I would put it on a top 10 list. You're entitled. Go.
Sing Street.
Love Sing Street.
Way more people should have seen Sing Street.
Yep.
It's on Netflix now.
Yep.
It's even one of those films you can download and take it with you. There's no excuse to not see Sing Street.
Absolutely, check that out. I told my roommate to watch it this week. I'm probably going to have to watch it with him to force him into it, but that is a great movie. I've been listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I hope they get an Oscar nomination.
Don't let it be a movie that you're going, you almost saw a number of times, then
Right.
just didn't get around to it, because it genuinely gives you a hell of a lot of satisfaction.
Sweet, fantastic film, and it just missed out on my own top 10.
Great characters and great script.
Next for you?
Hail Caesar. From
Oh,
all the way
man.
back in February. Now, I know a lot of
Wow.
people did not like this, but I genuinely really loved Hail Caesar.
Do you vote for the Golden Globes?
Not this year, I don't know.
Maybe one day.
Maybe.
I thought that was a mess, that movie.
You see, I loved it because it
There
was
were
a mess.
a couple of individual scenes that I enjoyed, but on the whole, it made no sense to me. No one that I saw the film with understood what the hell we had just seen.
See, I really enjoyed that. I loved a lot of the characters in it. I thought it was overcrowded, but
Okay.
I had great fun with that movie.
You get two more.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Never saw it. I need to.
Dude,
I
it's
need
so
to.
good. It's been a really strong year for animation generally this year.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Great stories, great characters, great voices. Kubo and the Two Strings. I'm a big fan of the studio's work. Movies like sort of Coraline, Paranorman, etc., etc. Really, really good. And Kubo and the Two Strings is just an absolute delight. I saw it way after it was in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the, I went to see it in like a $3 movie theater in the Valley. And it's just an absolute joy. An absolute delight. McConaughey, Charlize Theron, absolutely superb. The animation, it's all stop motion animation because that's what the studio does. It just looks so real. It's just so good. Not like real as in real people, but it doesn't look like it's stop motion. It doesn't look. It's just.
I
magical.
think it does look
So
cool, but
skillful.
the story for me, I could never really wrap my head around. I don't.
And neither could I. I don't think the trailers or anything else have really done it any justice.
Yeah.
It's a movie that you have to just put all that aside. And there've been a couple of movies like that.
Is
this year.
McConaughey in that too?
McConaughey is.
So
Yeah,
he does that
he
and
voices
sing. Wow.
the warrior.
He does that and sing.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like Leica. I like Paranorman. I like Coraline. But to me, I haven't loved any of their films.
Okay.
They've all kind of been doubles for me, which is probably why I haven't rushed to see Kubo. But
If you love Leica, there is at the moment, if you're going to Universal Studios Hollywood over the holidays, they did during the summer when the movie came out, they did like an exhibition for like a week with some of the stop motion characters and stuff like that. They brought it back for the holiday season. It is superb. I'm going to go and see it again next week. So if you are doing that, do take 5 minutes out of your schedule, 10 minutes out to go and have a look at it because it's absolute genius.
okay, you get one more before it's my turn.
Okay, La La Land.
La La Land. Okay, La La Land it is.
I have a nerdgasm in the same way that some people did? No. Is it a beautiful movie? Yes, and it really genuinely moved me. I thought it was just a great movie. It's a great way to spend some time and classic cinema, and I love a musical, and it really did it for me.
I loved it as well. We will get to that. All right, my list again is ranked.
Okay.
The 10 spot is always tough for me. I always think that it should go to a smaller film. So I don't think on my blog that these films were ranked 10, but this is the only tie on the list as well. I'm going with Everybody Wants Some and Goat.
Okay.
Everybody Wants Some is not a perfect film. I don't love the last third of it. The stuff with Zoe Deutsch doesn't totally work for me, but the first hour of Everybody Wants Some is absolutely perfect. All those guys made a huge impression on me, and I love Linklater and how he works with the young ensembles. And speaking of young ensembles, Goat just chilled me to my bone.
Have not seen that.
This film was so mismarketed as like this Spring Breakers, frat boys drinking kind of thing. This is a terrifying film about PTSD. Ben Schnetzer's terrific in it. Nick Jonas actually really made an impression. I like Jake Picking as well. And the sequence at the beginning in the first 20 minutes is just probably the scariest thing I've seen all year.
Now, Ben Schnetzer, I think, was in Pride a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah. Number 9 is Wiener.
Yeah.
A tremendous documentary.
Documentary,
The access that these filmmakers had to him is just amazing, and you really see how charismatic a leader he is.
Yeah.
Like, I think he would actually have made a good politician, but he just couldn't help himself. It's his tragic flaw, his Achilles heel, and it was just a great portrait of one man. 8 is A Monster Calls.
which I haven't seen yet, and it looks genuinely excellent.
It's there's a lot of almost all these films made me cry coming up, but A Monster Calls especially was maybe the biggest weepy of the year. The kid and Felicity Jones do fantastic work. She's dying of cancer. I could just really relate to this movie, and I cried buckets, and a lot of other people in the theater did too. So check that out when it does hit. 7 is Sully for me. I just can't imagine being a passenger on that plane and having to live through that experience. It felt so real. The way that Clint shot it. Tom Hanks is amazing.
Yeah.
Aaron Eckhart was really good. Again, not a perfect film, but it kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. You're just in expert hands. And Lion is number 6 for me. Lion, again, terribly moving. Sonny Pawar, the little Indian boy who carries the first half of the film, is terrific. Dev Patel did a great job. Nicole Kidman will deserve her Oscar nomination. And I definitely encourage you guys to track down Lion this winter.
My final 5.
Final 5. We've got 10 minutes, so we don't need to rush
order. Okay. Hello, my name is Dolly. Sally Field. Tiny movie came out. Doris. Why did I put Don? Sorry. I saw it actually only last weekend. So it's a late entry. It was early release in this year. Just absolutely delightful.
I thought it was wonderful.
Every single time Sally Field was on screen, just talking, not talking, being in a room with other people, the question was going around my head, why doesn't Hollywood use Sally Field more?
Why doesn't Hollywood recognize more comedic performances like this? Like, why is Meryl Streep automatically in the conversation for something like Florence Foster Jenkins?
I really enjoyed Florence Foster Jenkins.
I'm sure it's a wonderful film, but Sally Field deserved to be in the conversation more this season.
This is it's just a delight. It's not a big movie at all, and it wasn't easy to find when it was in theaters, but it's just one of the most beautiful and well played out films this year. It's great fun. It's got a real heart. Yeah.
Yep.
I absolutely love that movie. Seriously, it completely took me by surprise. Deadpool.
Wow. Okay.
Just love that. It's one of the few movies that I've watched a number of times this year. And I just had so much fun with that movie. It just delivered.
2 comic book films on Simon's top 10.
I'm really quite. I almost didn't put Captain America on there, but I just thought as far as the summer blockbusters go, and kind of in the superhero genre, it was where it was really weak summer. It was also pretty strong.
Okay.
But yeah, Deadpool I absolutely love. I just think that's great. This is another film that pretty much nobody saw, and that is an absolute crime. Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
That was my favorite studio film of the summer.
Yeah, it's just so funny, so well observed, so smart. I love Lonely Lionhead anyway, but this is it's so good, and nobody saw it, and that's an absolute fucking crime. So if you love somebody, and you want to buy them a present this year, maybe not for grandma, but you buy them Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping on Blu-ray. They'll wonder what the hell it is, but they will. It's just so funny.
No, you got to be an Andy Samberg fan, I think.
Who isn't? If you're not an Andy, who isn't?
I really like Andy Samberg, but
I love Storks. Well, he also did this year, and I told him that the biggest crime for me this summer was the fact that not enough people went to see it. It's such a good movie. Everybody Wants Some.
Yeah, that's on it. Nice.
That's on the list.
Way to go!
I absolutely love that film. I mean, it's one of those. I had a conversation in the office with someone about it the other day. It's one of those films where not a huge amount happens, and it kind of starts and it ends, but it doesn't really come to a conclusion.
Right.
And you're just like, that was beautiful. That was just like watching a play.
It really captured male friendships and the way guys talk to each other.
But in a really subtle, not laid on way, a very un-Hollywood way. Mm-hmm. I love the shit out of Everybody Wants Some. That's such a great movie. And then Sully.
Okay.
Which I, again, absolutely loved. It was just a great piece of cinema. And Tom Hanks and Clint Eastwood just at the top of their game, delivering a great movie that was interesting, exciting, passionate, had heart, was human. Loved it.
Okay, so we've got 3 of the same films on our list: La La Land, Sully, and Everybody Wants Some. In the 5 spot for me will be The Invitation, which I think is just one of the best genre movies to be made in the last few years. And I've seen it on all these lists in the last few weeks, like the 10 best horror movies of the year, and it's like always number 5 or 4 after like The Witch and some other bullshit. Like, The Invitation is not a top 5 horror movie. To me, it was a top 5 movie of the entire year.
Yeah.
It looked at grief in a very different way than Manchester by the Sea. An incredible twist, maybe the twist of the year at the end of that film, and I just thought it was fantastic. Number 4, Patriots Day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm from
I can't
Boston.
wait to
Maybe
see
I'm
that.
biased, but I was just simultaneously on the edge of my seat for this film, which has an incredible shootout and just thrilling stuff, and then mixed with the heart and the emotion. I walked out of there like I had just gone through war. Like tears streaming down my face. I'm like shell shocked. The publicist needed to give me a minute when I walked out of there. Number 3, La La Land. La La Land was beautiful. I didn't think that I was going to necessarily love it. I'm not a huge musical guy, but there's something. We all moved out here to Los Angeles with a dream to become something, and it's hard. It's hard out here. I think it's harder than most places around the world. And La La Land just does a great job of capturing that kind of struggle through the lens of one relationship. Number 2, Manchester by the Sea. Manchester, to me, is just a devastating masterpiece. And Casey Affleck, regardless of what he may have done in the past, any issues with women, he absolutely deserves that Oscar statue. I think this is head and shoulders the performance of the year. Lucas Hedges is tremendous. Michelle Williams, Kenneth Lonergan just knocked this one out of the park. And number 1, the only movie that I think may be sadder than Manchester this year. And people wouldn't argue whether it's even a movie or not, because it was kind of made for television, but it is O.J. Made in America. I think as soon as I saw that, or as soon as I saw the first 3 hours of O.J. Made in America this summer, I knew I would not see a better piece of filmed material the rest of the year on film or in film or television. I mean, to me, what Ezra Edelman did with O.J. is more than just a movie or documentary. It's a time capsule. It is a historical document. And to see O.J., who came from nothing, to build himself into what he did, and then that fall from grace, and then being let go, and then not being able to resist, finding a way back into prison. I mean, it is Shakespearean in the way Hamlet, Othello, Macbeth. O.J. is on the level with these classic stories that have endured hundreds or thousands of years. Maybe not thousands, hundreds, but O.J. Made in America is the year's true masterpiece, and I think it's going to win the best documentary at the Oscar, but I really think it should be winning Best Picture.
I have not seen that, but it is on my list of things that I'm definitely going to be catching up on over the holidays.
Clear your day, man.
Couple of honourable mentions from me that didn't make the list. You and I both got long lists of movies that we could have included. Nice Guys, I loved. Don't Breathe. As far as horror movies from the year goes,
Yeah, it was a great year for horror movies.
great, really solid year.
Check out Julia Ducournau's Raw next year when that comes out, and The Eyes of My Mother is out now
Heard
on
good
iTunes.
things.
That's really great.
Green Room.
Yep, that's another good
With the
thriller.
late Anton Yelchin. And this is a film that came out in the UK last year, but came out in America early this year, Man Up. It's a sitcom. It's a rom-com, sorry.
Simon Pegg
Simon
movie?
Pegg
Oh, weird.
and Lake Bell, written by the brilliantly talented Tess Morris.
Okay.
Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb, and it's on Netflix and stuff. But it just got such a small release here in the US, and it's a good Simon Pegg movie. And sadly, there aren't as many of those as there used to be. Yeah. And it's just a fucking delight.
Now, would you, if I gave you a ballot right now, I'll put you on the spot. If you had to vote for Best Picture today, what would it be?
Best Picture, from what I've seen, and there's a few that I haven't seen, like Fences, etc. I think La La Land.
I think La La Land is going to win.
I don't know if it should do. I think it will.
Right. I think it. Wait, what do you think should?
I don't know, because I haven't seen a couple of the others that I think could be in the standing.
I'm not sure if I think it should. I think it best represents the industry and the message that we want to send, but I do think Manchester is overall the more staggering film. So that would probably get my vote. Any big Christmas plans?
Well, I'll tell you what, a couple of things we have to mention before we finish is Miguel Gomez is a big fan of the show. It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday,
Actually,
Miguel.
it's a birthday celebration. Got to watch the show live.
Hey.
So kind of a big deal. He made
Congrats,
the effort.
brother. Have a great
So,
day.
Really appreciate that. And also this weekend, Steven Spielberg turned 70. What did you get him?
I didn't get Stevie anything.
No?
I think he has everything, but
That is true. I
Good
got
for him.
Just an idea for ET2. Just a little idea.
Got it.
Yeah, Christmas. I'm going to be in LA. I have literally from now all the way through to January a stream of family and friends coming to see me. Taking a couple of days off next week to show a few friends around LA. Then family, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be nice. And then I'm just going to take my mother to the theatre load. She's in town after the holidays. I'm just going to take her to the movies and show her some really cool shit.
maybe I'll take her to the movies and show her some cooler shit.
Maybe you should do.
Hey, that seems like a good place to end it. Where can the good folks find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ShowbizSimon. You can find me on Facebook. This is Simon Thompson, and back here in January.
I will return in January as well. Guys, Meet the Movie Press signing off for a fantastic 2016,
Yeah, thank
or
you.
maybe not that fantastic, but
Highs and lows.
thank you to the Popcorn Talk Network. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe on all this stuff. Leave comments. It's a pleasure to serve you.
Yeah, and please do tell everybody. We really appreciate it. And have a great, great Christmas and Hanukkah and whatever.
Happy holidays, gang.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.